This is Cody McLain, and you are listening to episode 1 of the Mindhacks podcast. I'm the founder of Support Ninja, a multi-million-dollar company that employs over 500 people worldwide and services some of the biggest tech companies in Silicon Valley. I've been successful at business by most people's standards, but that's not why I think you should listen to this podcast. Lots of podcasts interview successful people looking for advice, tips, or strategies to copy. However, in my opinion, it's not just what someone does that makes them worth listening to, but what they had to overcome that I think is the best part of their story. My own story is most certainly not a simple feel-good success story. I'm a high school dropout who was bullied in school, never had any friends, thought I was stupid, and actually believed I would never amount to anything. My parents died before I turned 18, and at one point I was homeless and running an online business from foster care. I had to hustle my way out of poverty, ignore all the naysayers, learn how to pay the bills, manage a business, and figure out my own life in the process. Everyone has challenges in their life. Whether they choose to face them or not is another story. For years I was depressed, meandering my way through life until I started to uncover the habits and routines that made other people successful. For somebody who thought he'd never amount to much, I've since started multiple million-dollar companies, traveled the world, became a photographer, pilot, rescue diver, and more. I struggled my way through most of life, and while I don't have all the answers, I've been encouraged to start this podcast to help others find theirs. This podcast has been many years in the making. Along the way, I've had many amazing conversations with incredibly smart, talented, and hardworking people who have had their own share of obstacles and feats they've had to tackle. Out of this grew a desire to capture these conversations and share them with those who are interested in improving their own lives. My motto is that your potential can far exceed your expectations. I've run into too many people who still loathe themselves, who think they're incapable of accomplishing anything significant with their lives. And you know what? That used to be me. We all share the desire to live a happy and fulfilling life. And my intention with this podcast is to help those who feel like they have more to offer find their own path on this game we call life. We'll be having conversations with authors, creatives, psychologists, and experts in their field on topics including productivity, habits, routines, success, meaning, and much more. If you are interested in improving your life by overcoming whatever life has to throw at you, this is a podcast for you. Now, instead of just looking at a few tips and strategies that made somebody somewhere successful, we'll be finding out what experiences, knowledge, and habits they had to acquire first in order to become the person that makes them so interesting today. We all know you need to build a solid foundation before you can build a house. And I believe there are at least 2 things every person needs in order to become successful by their own definition of the term. First, you need to know yourself and accept the person you are in perpetuity. Second, you need to find that inner flame, drive, motivation, whatever you want to call it, in order to execute on your innermost desires and passions. As a result, I've created Mindhack to be partly a self-development, knowledge, and life strategies podcast, but also a collection of stories, experiences, and reasons that I hope will give you the inner confidence and drive you need to live a life of no regrets. Now, after all that, I have to ask, are you ready to go down the rabbit hole with me? Hell yeah.